Shows you how much I care about a microphone, right? Yeah, it's great to be in this energy again. I was in Kansas City for 2 weeks doing a church project there called Rise Up that I'll talk about a little bit more later. But it's always good to be in your hometown, right? It always feels good just to be around my parents and my family. Always good. And so we continue the final week of love in the 12 powers. And so it's so interesting as I've been watching this. Originally, I thought, how can you just keep talking about the same power 1 month in a row? And I tell you that every speaker that comes up is going to have a different expression to be able to share with you, to take with you. And hopefully by the end of that month, you've been enthralled in that power, because these powers are powerful. Today I'm kind of preaching to the choir because I've worked on judgment for the last 5 years. I've been working on how do I see people from a place of pure love. And I do believe it's tough in this world. I mean, can you imagine in a world if everyone thought that way? We let go of negativity and retaliation, and it was from a place of love. And I believe in the 70s, they kind of got that, you know. They really understood that. All We Need Is Love by the Beatles. Barbra Streisand said Love is the Answer is the title of her album. And then, of course, the band Utopia, which is who I played for you, writer Todd Rundgren, who wrote Love is the Answer. Light of the world, shine on me. Love is the answer. Shine on us all, set us free. Love is the answer. I don't even know how I came up with the topic. I think I was in a rush trying to get it to Lisa. And bam, it popped in my mouth. Love is the answer. It just came to me. I want to talk to you today about why love is the answer. I want to talk to you about how we can radiate that love out into our life and change your life and others. I want to share with you how by coming from a place and consciousness of love, you can shift the fear using that love into a place where you're a powerhouse, a radiating light and energy of love. In Power Up by Reverend Dr. Paul Hasselback, who is a dear friend of mine and I love so much, he goes on and on. Originally, that's what I was going to do. I don't know if anybody's done any of that, but here he talks about going into consciousness and into not being in consciousness and elevated consciousness and ego consciousness, and he talks about the overdeveloped power of love and the underdeveloped power of love. I don't want to talk about that. I've talked about that a lot, and it's beautiful work. It really is. I want to go somewhere deeper today. I want to go somewhere that's in a different spot. I want to go out of that metaphysical realm for a second with you and talk about a psychologist. Could be psychotic point of view, but we're going to call psychologist point of view. Amazing psychologist John Lee did a comprehensive study of the use of the word love in history and literature in the Bible. You know, there's all kinds of love. I mean, you can love to murder, right? A serial killer does. So there's all kinds of love out in the world. But what I want to talk about today is a different type of love. So what I want to tell you is what we're not going to talk about love-wise, okay? So if you will, put those up there for me on that slide. So it's kind of hard to see it, so I'll just explain it to you. So the first we've got is eros. Eros is that romantic love. It's full of passion and emotional devotion. It usually leads to unhealthy attachments. The attraction is intense and immediate. Physical attraction is so important in this one. And you must have absolute devotion and possession. Do you know anybody like that? The second one is ludus. People who have ludus style of love see it kind of as a game. So the end goal is to win the person over. They will manipulate you. They will do all kinds of game playing with you. They will do crazy things. They'll deceive you. They'll do whatever it takes. But they don't want to commit. You know anybody like that? Mm-hmm. And then the third one is storge. This is based on friendship. This person, they just want to be your friend. They want to love you, but they also want to be your friend. They don't want to commit too deeply to romantic. They'll go for long periods without being romantic, and they just really want to be your friend. And then there's pragma. I like the word pragma because it's kind of like practical. And this is kind of a logical dominating force of love. This person's very, very logical and includes a lot of the other ones. But they want to make sense out of the love that they have for you. And then mania or obsessive love. I feel like a lot of my boyfriends have had this. Or maybe I had it for them. I'm not really sure. But something was messed up about the relationship. This is where they're possessive, controlling. They're just a maniac about it. They're in love with the idea of love. And then there's this very important one, Dr. John Lee says, and it's called agape. It's called agape. He said this is the type of love that makes people the happiest. This kind of love knows how to give and to receive. People who love this way are focused on their partner's needs. They offer their affection unconditionally. They commit to caring. Nothing is based on attachment, but instead on harmony. What a beautiful love that must be. I thought at one point I should search for that love. I thought it's something that I needed and had to go out and find. I mean, isn't that what we're trained as a child when we grow up, that we need to find the perfect love? I mean, I think about young girls. I was a wedding planner for years, and I think about how it's instilled on them that they need to go out, find a husband, have a beautiful wedding to make mom and dad proud so they can complain all day at the wedding, and then, yeah. You think, it's a belief, folks. It's a belief, and girls feel that. If they don't, in other countries, if you don't do that, you're not a woman. I mean, it's truly beliefs that we've taken on. So what do we need to understand about the power of love? Let's talk about, first of all, what agape is. I'm just going to take you to the Bible. I love, the Bible for me is just one of the most interesting books. First Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4. Love is patient, love is kind. Love is not envious or boastful or arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It does not become irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice in wrongdoing, but rejoices in the truth. It bears all things and believes all things, hopes all things and endures all things. Love never ends. And now faith, hope, and love abide, these three, and the greatest of these is love. What do we need to understand about the power of love? I love that Unity takes on a different perspective. We look at things so differently than it is in most churches. So let's talk about the number one thing. Agape love is an attribute. It's a power. It's not something we need from someone or something. You see, it's something that we give. It's a power. It's a wellspring that we have, that we're able to do. We get so confused sometimes based on our past beliefs and what mom and dad taught us or religion has taught us. I love going to Charles Fillmore. Love going deep into that wellspring of history. Here's what Charles says in the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Love is a divine attribute. It is an idea of the one, capital M, mind. God is love and love is God, or quality and being. The difference, he says, listen to this now, this is important. The difference between divine love and human love is that divine love is broad and unlimited, a universal and harmonizing power. Human love is based on personality, is selfish, lawless, and fickle. He says in reality there's only one love. When man expresses divine love in limited ways, he makes a separation in consciousness, and his expression of love is personal instead of universal. It's interesting how, as I was pondering this whole talk, how I realized in my own life how I've not used the power from a place of a wellspring, but of a place of needing to receive it to feel worthy. How many people have gone there before? Yeah, it's part of, again, that consciousness that we, and it wasn't a good consciousness, that we learned from other people. The second thing we need to understand about the power of love is we are commanded to love. You all know the commandment, right? The very first two is that love thy God first, right? Well, I see that as love the Christ first. Love myself first. If I am the divine in expression, then I have, for goodness sakes, got to love me, because I surely can't go to the second commandment and love you, my neighbor. If there's one thing we learn in unity that is so powerful, one thing we learn, it is that we must take care of ourselves if we are going to take care and love others. You see, that's how the radical radiation of love expresses out into the world. And number 3 is love by faith. How many people have read Catherine Ponder's book, The Prospering Power of Love? So, have we ever done a workshop on that here? Okay, so a couple of you know at least that I'm working on my doctorate degree, and as one of the classes I took with Catherine Ponder's The Prospering Power of Love. And Reverend Dr. Missy Higginbotham, who is my teacher, said this is going to change your life. It has not stopped changing my life, and that was just back in July. So when I was able to speak about love today, it warmed my heart deeply, deeply, deeply. I just want to share a little bit with you about what she says. Divine love is one of your mental and spiritual faculties. You do not have to search outside yourself for love. You can begin releasing it from within outward through your thoughts, words, actions, affirmative prayers. As you do, you will experience the successful power of love in all its fullness as it works through people, situations, and conditions that concern you. How powerful is that? How powerful is it that there's something greater in us that sometimes we don't even notice? We feel we need to receive it other than express it. I've been very blessed to have a wonderful church in Kansas City who I've been a part of a project for a year now called Rise Up. It's a model I created because one of their congregants called me, who was on the board of Unity World Headquarters, and she said, I love what you did at Unity Village. Can you do that at our church? I had no idea the level of the project I was taking on, honestly. That started on April 24th of 2022. So I said, yeah, let me come up with something for you. She said, I want to donate some money, but I don't want it going to pay the electric bill. I want it to be a seed. I want it to be a legacy, something that's going to elevate the church to a different level. And so I wanted to serve there. So I said, sure, we got this. We're going to do. So I came up with a model called Rise Up, revenue and income streaming using properties from churches, right? They sit empty. many hours a week. Most people own their buildings. And so I wanted a way to use sacred service and community service and social service to bring people from all over, wherever it is, whether it's to do a wedding or an art show on that property. They'll make money from it, and they'll share their message with all of Kansas City. And so we began that project. It has been one of the most difficult projects of my life. Going there, I will tell you, the weight on me has been strategic. And so the last 2 weeks, which was 3 weeks ago, I went for the final project, and I said, look, we got to speed this up. We had 3 more phases left, but I'm ready for you all. You need to get this place going. We need to create income from here. So my friend Robert, who is a designer from Miami, met me there. I brought 2 of my dear workers here, 2 little Mexican guys, adorable hard workers. So you can imagine 2 queens and 2 Mexican in an Airbnb. Should have been a reality show, trust me. My friend Robert said, don't ever do that to me again. Living with 2 straight men. Oh. To think I went to seminary and got a master's for that, right? Can I tell you the love that I felt in that experience, and ultimately Robert felt, was incredible. The very first day we went, the ladies fed us lunch every single day. They brought it. They took turns, right? Every day for 13 days. They would walk in, and my friend Robert, he's not much on volunteers. He said they're just in the way. And they would come in with this food. They would lay it out. You could tell they were tired. They tried, hard to do it. So they'd be a little finicky, we'll call it. He'd say, see, I told you they're going to be finicky again today. And I said, we're going to do something different, Robert. We're going to see them from a place of love. Let's start shifting. When they come in low, we're going to go high, and we're going to hold the light for them. I believe they need to be loved. That's all it is. It's mostly older ladies, mostly by themselves. Do you know what happened by the end of that 2 weeks? We felt a shift. There was no more complaining coming in. They were honored and grateful. You see, the shift was not needed from them. It was from us. We had to see them differently. You see, the radiating love made the shift. I didn't need them to come in and be excited that we're doing work for them and that we're feeding us, and I needed them to feed us and need. The love, the radiation, the light came. Every bite of food that we took was love expressed to us right here and right there. When we got to the end of the week, we did a big gala, which put even more pressure on me as an event planner. And if I could tell you, we sold the place out, 175 people, filled up every seat. If I could tell you when I walked in the door of that gala that evening, and I was running late, of course, each person that had fed us that week refed me that night and said, thank you for the opportunity to serve you. You see, their wellspring of love had gotten expressed. The fountain flowed more and more and more. What I didn't realize until that Sunday, and Reverend Myra brought me up, is that it created a shift in the church everywhere in the project. It wasn't just the food. It was the whole project. The aggravation, the weariness that I had all turned into love. Where in your life right now are you needing love? Something probably just popped in your head. Man, I wish they loved me. I wish this, I wish this, I wish this. It's a conscious shift. It's a conscious shift, and I'm going to give you some tips to take with you. I'm going to go to the next slide for me. Thank you. How do we prosper with the power of love? Number one, become conscious and present. You see, I had to become conscious and notice that I was being loved the whole time there. And I was going into a victim state, feeling like I need to be loved more because I'm weary, tired, and I want to end this project. Not realizing that the gift, the Queen of Hearts I was searching for, each one of those people were that Queen of Hearts. They were sharing that with me all the way, and instead I was looking for Oz. But it was there the whole time. Number two, our thoughts. Unity's principle 3. When I change my thoughts, when you change your thoughts, it's going to look different. It's going to feel different. Love is going to start flowing to you. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to get loved. People are going to start loving you like you never felt before. Because now you're activating the power. Now you're radiating that. Number 3, prayer and meditation. And I'll tell you, sometimes you got to put that first. Okay? Because I'm going to tell you, I was so busy, I was so tired, I was so weary after working 13 days, 10, 12, 14-hour days, trying to get this done for the gala, trying to get it done for their business model. There were opportunities I missed along the way because I wasn't meditated, rested, prayed up. Notice that. Sometimes that has to go first before you can become conscious and change your thoughts for daily practice. The Metaphor Bible Dictionary of Charles says we must practice. Our principle 5 is we've got to take this into action. We've got to take it out and go. Once we become conscious of this, we have to practice it. It's hard, folks. It's hard. But every time I have an opportunity for somebody that makes me angry in traffic or at Walmart or this or that, the second that I become conscious of it, meditate just a second on it and go, I'm going to change this idea. I'm going to come from love. It shifts me, and I promise you, you may not see it now, but it's shifting the world and that person. As you leave this church today, you're going to have a lifetime of opportunities. A lifetime to radiate. You're probably going to walk out of here, and within the first 15 minutes, there's going to be an opportunity to let someone out in front of you, to stand back as someone exit in front of you but from the church. I mean, the opportunities, it's by the second, by bounds and thousands and groves and hundreds and buckets and barrels. You have the tools. Unity gave them to you. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Change your thoughts, and you're going to change your life. So if you want something wonderful to happen in your life today, choose love. Love is the answer.